Hello friends, welcome back to Code Explorer. Here I am Pabitra Banerjee with you and you are watching this video as a part of our Mastering DSA using Python playlist. This is going to be our sixth video of this playlist and here we are going to learn about input function in Python and then we will learn about typecasting in Python. Okay, so let's start the video. So before we start, let me tell you that if you have not subscribed our channel yet, then please subscribe this. This will really motivate us. And if you have not accessed this playlist yet, then you can also access this playlist where you will get all the video step by step where you can learn Python programming language from as a beginner, and then we will move to data structures and algorithms how we continue to this playlist. Okay, and you can also share this video with your friends that they can also get the benefit from this video. Okay, so now let us move to our VS Code. Here I have already created a file called input typecasting.py. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about input function in Python. So how we can use the input function in Python. So for doing that, first we have to create a variable where we will store the value which we will take from the input function. Okay, so for that we are going to create a variable called a which will take the input from the user, and for now we are trying to get the age of the user. So enter your age. Okay, now we are going to print that. So print your age is, what is his age? A. Right. Now let's run this code using this code runner extension. Here you can check, you can see that it's asking to insert the value from the user. Here the user is me, so it's asking from me. So enter your age. So my age is 20. I am inserting 20. There you can see that your age is 20. Right. What does happen here? That means the input function takes the input from the user and then it stores the value of the user input to the variable we have assigned to it, and then we're using the print function, we are calling the value and then it's printed in our console. Okay, I think you have got the point. And here inside this enter your age, which is a string data type, is none, but it's like a placeholder. I think you have already seen various types of websites where you have seen that when you are going to insert your name or password, at that case in the input box you have seen that there you can see that enter your name or enter your password. These types of things are called placeholders basically. And you can also think this like a label also, which is in these placeholder and label terms are related to web development. So you don't need to learn about them right now. You can explore them when you will be able to do so, and you can do this in your own interest. But here we are not going to discuss about web development. So for now it's just a text you want to show the user before inserting the value. Okay, now let me create another variable called b, and let me take the input from the user. Enter your father's age. Okay, we are asking the user to insert his father age, and we are just simply going to repeat that to print. So your father's age is b, not a. Okay, so now let's run the code. Here you can see that enter your age, that is 20, and my father's age is 52. So enter that. So here you can see that your age is 20 and your father's age is 52. I think you have got the point that how this input function basically works. Okay, now I want that the total age of me and my father. Okay, so let's write that. So we can use the additional the operator in Python to do so, to add those value, right? So print the sum of your and your father's age is, what will be the summation? It will be a plus b, right? Okay, now let's run the code. So enter your age 20, your father's age 52. Run. Here you can see everything is correct, but the sum of your and your father's age is 2052. What that means? That means 20 plus 52 is 2052. No, it's not. So what is happening here? So here you can check that it has been concatenated. Okay, what is concatenate? Concatenate is a type of string data types. Okay, where you can add two strings is called concatenate. Okay, this is a special terms used in Python. So here we have inserted the integers value, but it has been concatenated. That means maybe these integers has been not integers, we have inserted them as integer, but now they are acting like a string. Okay, so how we can check that is it integer or is it string? We have inserted that. So for doing that, we will use some another print statement. That means where we are going to use the type of the variable a is. How we can check the type of the variable? Using the type function in Python, which is another built-in function in Python. Okay, so now insert it. So now we are going to check the data type of the variable b as well. So now let's run the code. Here we can check that what's the problem here. So I am inserting my age as 20 and my father's age as 52. Here you can check that your age is 20. The type of the variable a is string, but we have inserted this value as an integer value. But how can it be converted as string? So here is the case that the input function in Python basically takes all the input as a string data type. Okay, whatever you can store inside this, whatever input you provide to this input function, it will store this value as a string data type. Okay, and whenever you will add those values, it will return you as a concatenated value of string. Okay, so using that we can't do our required thing. Okay, so for that we have to need typecast the data types. How we can do that? So we are just simply going to typecast them. Here we will going to learn about three built-in function in Python. First we are going to learn about int function. Okay, let's suppose I am going to convert this as integer. So for doing that we have to just simply need to pass the input function inside the integer function. Okay, now I am going to show you. So I am going to run the code again. So 20 and 52. Here you can check that your age is 20. The type of the variable a is class int. Now using the int function we have converted, that means we have typecasted the value of the variable a to integer instead of string. Okay, here the input function is basically storing the value as an string, but inside the int function the string has been converted to integer. Okay, but we have not used any typecasting inside the variable b, that's why it is still string, and we are getting an error message which is type error, unsupported operator types, because we can't add an integer and a string data types. To use any arithmetical operations in Python we have to use same data types. Okay, that means we can use two strings to add. Okay, we can use two integer data types or we can use two float data types to add, but we can't add any string or any integer data types together. Okay, You have to keep in mind that. So for now, we are going to just simply typecast this b variable into integer. So we need to use this uh, integer function. So we have already passed our input function inside the integer function. Okay, that's mean the input will be first taken and then the inputted value will be converted to the will be goes through the int function and it will convert it to an integer data type. Now let's run the code. Okay, so enter your age. My age is 20 and my father's age is 52. Now you can see that all the variable is now integer data types and the sum of your and your father's age is 72. Okay, here I think you have cleared. I think it makes sense. Okay, so now we are going to check. Okay, first let me write a comment here. Int typecasting. Okay, here we have used the int typecasting. Now we are going to use the float typecasting. Okay, for now I am just going to comment all of these lines of code because otherwise it will ask me to insert all the values together. So for that reason I am just going to comment this. I will share this link, I will share the code in the GitHub repository and you can directly check that where you will get all the code. Okay, now move to the float typecasting. As I have already told you that we are going to use this same code. So for that case we are going to take, let's suppose, okay, first let me copy all the whole code and then I will uncomment these and instead of using this a variable I am going to use another variable called c. Okay, it's c now, and instead of using the b variable I am going to use variable called d. Okay, now you can see that it has been typecasted to integer here inside the using the int function, but here we are going to use the float function. Okay, now let's run the code. Here you can check that enter your age. What if that I insert my age as 20.2 and my father's age is 52.6. Now hit enter. Here you can see that your age is 20.2, which is a float data type. Using the float function in Python, we have just converted the input string data type inside the float data type. Okay, now we have converted the two variables inside the float data type and then the sum of our age is 72.8. Okay, let me tell you that we can't do this using the print function. Let me check using the int function. Basically, can we take float values for that or not? So for that we are just going to simply run the code again. Here I am going to insert my age as 20 and my father's age as 52.6. Hit enter. Here you can see that it will give us a value error, invalid literal for int, because we have declared the variable as integer but we are trying to store a value which is float. It's not fair. That's why Python is giving us error message. That means we can't handle the float data type using the integer data type. Okay, I am just going to comment this code again. Commented. Now we are going to uncomment this code. Uncommented. Okay, now let's run the file again. Here you can check that enter your age. Let's suppose I am going to enter my age as 20. and my father's age as 52.6. Hit enter. Here you can see that the type of the variable is float. That means the variable, sorry, this is C basically. This is variable C and this is variable D. Run the code again. So 20 and 52.6. Here you can check that the type of the variable C is float, but we have inserted a integer variable here, integer value here. How it can be float? That's why, because you can check that your age is 20.0. The float function in Python has converted our integer value to float by itself. Okay, and then it's make the calculation 20 plus 20.0 plus 52.6 is equal to 72.6. I think it's clear. That means we can use the float data type when we will inserting a integer data type inside the float data type, it will automatically convert it inside into a floating point number. Okay, but we can't do this vice versa. That means we can't store a float value inside a integer data type, but we can store a integer value inside a float data type. I think it makes sense, and when you will write your own code, this logic will be cleared. Okay, now we are going to learn about the eval function in Python. So eval function typecasting. Okay, for doing that I am just simply going to copy this code and will also comment this, and then we are going to change the variable's name, where we are going to use the e, and then we are going to change it f. Okay, now let's make this float to eval. Instead of float or integer, we are using the eval function. What does this function do? I will tell you everything, so stay tuned. Now first I am going to run the code. Check. Let's suppose enter your age. So I am inserting my age as 20 and my father's age as 52.6. Enter. You can see that your age is 20 and the type of the variable e is integer, right? Your father's age is 52.6 and the type of the variable f is float, and the sum of our your and your father's age is 72.6. That means inside the eval function we don't need to mention the data type we are giving inside it. We can use integer, we can use float, whatever we want. Okay, and here is another magic, that if we insert any boolean value, any binary value inside the eval function, it will automatically convert it into our decimal number system and then it will return us the value. Okay, so let me try that. For that case I am going to rerun this file again, and now here we are going to insert a boolean value. Oh, sorry, a binary value. So 0b and then 1010, and then let me enter that 52.6. Now hit enter. Here you can see that this 0b1010 I was inserted that value, but your age has been printed as 10, because 1010 is the binary representation of the decimal number 10, and the 0b denotes that it's the binary value, right? And this eval function has automatically detected that, and then it has rendered these binary values to a decimal value, and then it has inserted these as an integer data type, right? And then it has we have this 52.6, which is a float data type, and then it has calculated this age as 62.6, right? So here we have discussed about all of the input variable, input function in Python, and then we have discussed about the typecasting in Python. So typecasting is the method where we can convert a value of any variable to a data type to another data type. So here we have converted the string data type, which is the default data type for the input function, to integer or float. And then we have learnt about the eval function, which basically doesn't care about the data type. It automatically detects that and then it runs the file. Okay, so that's it for today's video. We are going to discuss about conditional statement in the next video. So till then, keep learning and stay safe, and happy coding, guys.